it's hard not to get emotional because Chris was the pioneer, just a pioneer of the nuclear industry in America.
Chris grew up as a nuclear operator. He started as a pipe fitter in Texas on a nuclear plant, and he became the most successful operator of nuclear plants in the world over the course of his career. But it wasn't just the expertise that drove Chris, it was his relationship with the workers, his relationship with the communities that the plant served. And I've tried to think of what the analogy is when it shut down, but it was almost like taking a limb off of him.
For Chris, it was gut-wrenching because he loved nuclear. He breathed those plants. He knew how good that plant was.
Just walking through the plant when it's running and get that smell of hot metal and steel, you have a bad day, you just walk out in the plant, you talk to the mechanics and the operators, and the day gets better really quick.
He was just an iconic leader that led a huge fleet of nuclear power plants and literally transformed them into this new way of thinking that we can be both operationally available, the plant will be up more, our shutdowns will be shorter, and we're going to do that in a way that is, by every metric, safer than it ever has been before. Chris Crane, probably more than any other person I can think of, laid the foundation for us to even have this kind of resurgence and enthusiasm for nuclear power.
The only thing that I felt sorry about is that Chris wasn't there to see it. He would have had a smile on his face. I mean, it would have been such a vindication for him.
And to be able to recognize him and to now have it restarted under his name, it's fabulous, just fabulous.
He was not the type who really wanted necessarily the limelight.
His reaction would be, why the hell would you name a plant after me? He was the least self-laudatory person I have ever met in my life. He didn't want awards. He didn't want stuff to happen that recognized his brilliance and his commitment. He wanted it all to go to the people who worked, who were on the ground level. So he would have grumbled about this. But the naming after Chris, it's not for Chris. It's for all of us to remember what an extraordinary example he is. Chris was my best friend. He was as extraordinary as a human being as he was as a nuclear operator and a CEO. His heart and his soul were pure. His generosity was enormous. His sensitivity towards people, he drove people hard, but he never drove them any harder than he drove himself. He's just one of the most extraordinary people that I've ever known, and I miss him dearly.